The White House today is defending President Trump's tweet against Nordstrom, saying that Ivanka Trump's brand was being targeted because of the president's policies. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer.
But I think this was less about his family's business and an attack on his daughter.
Nordstrom and Neiman Marcus have cut the Ivanka Trump brand from their racks. The president tweeted, quote, "My daughter Ivanka has been treated so unfairly by Nordstrom. She is a great person, always pushing me to do the right thing. Terrible." Nordstrom came out and basically said that this was not anything to do with politics. This was because of economics. And joining us on the KOMO Newsline is the co-founder of Bottom Line Marketing and professor of marketing at San Diego State University, Miro Copic. Thank you so much for being with us, Professor. Is this unprecedented to have a president doing something like this, talking about so many different brands from Nordstrom to Amazon to Boeing?
It absolutely is, and it's a challenge for brands, and brands are on alert at this point that they may be targeted. I think so far most of the damage has been fleeting for most of the brands, but certainly there could be some carryover, like in Ford. If you're looking to buy a car, somebody who has a certain perception may not consider a Ford. But clearly, in the retail space, Nordstrom's, this is a company that does this regularly. It rationalizes its product line. It cuts brands that are not either delivering on a sales per square foot basis. There's inventory carrying costs if it's not moving online as efficiently. So this is a normal state of business. It just happens to be a high-profile brand, and one could say that it's a father kind of reacting to his daughter, but it's not appropriate.
Professor, the brand itself, Ivanka Trump's brand, just nationally, where is it right now in terms of its popularity?
I think, I think it has had a steady growth over the last several years. They've done this through expanding distribution, and the challenge is, the Ivanka has actually stated that she is stepping away from the business. She's not evolved operationally. It's left to an executive team to drive the business, and so it has to drive on its own merits. And there's a handful of stores, including Nordstrom's or Belk's, even some products in TJ Maxx that are being pulled off shelves because of performance. I truly do not believe it's related to the name specifically. In many cases, that could be ultimately a bonus. But this is a time of year that as retailers are gearing up for their, say, spring line season, which starts selling at this point in time after the holidays, they're making big decisions on brands they want to carry, new up-and-coming brands, and sometimes brands kind of run their own course.
But if Ivanka is pulling away from her brand, and so that there is no conflict of interest or any perception of that, then how could Nordstrom be hurting her?
Yeah, it's not her. Well, her brand still exists. Her brand is being run by the Trump organization.
I'm saying, but he's saying they're being terrible to my daughter.
Right.
So how is it terrible to her if she's been not being a part of it, if she's pulling back like she's supposed to be doing?
No, you're absolutely right. I think it's just an emotional reaction. That really doesn't have any bearing in any reality, but unfortunately, it's just a reaction that we've seen occur against a lot of brands for sometimes not very thorough and thoughtful reasons.
Such a competitive industry, Professor. I would think that a retail outlet, regardless whether it's Nordstrom or Walmart or Target or Macy's, if something's working for them, I find it hard to believe they would shoot themselves in the foot by taking a successful product out of their stores.
No, yes, that's correct. I mean, at the end of the day, every brand, every retailer is looking to make a profit, and they're looking to rationalize their product lines to make sure they have the best assortment that their customers want to buy. One of the things that if you saw in the Super Bowl, there was a lot of commentary around the Budweiser ad about immigrants, and because of the ban, for example, a lot of the technology companies that Microsoft, Google, Twitter, et cetera, all have kind of come along with this, supporting the lifting of this ban. And the reason they do that is because over 50% of their sales are outside of the United States, a lot of these technology brands. sales are very important. So no company, if they are really seeing value in a product or service that they're carrying, are going to abandon it. So, and there may be other retailers where the Ivanka Trump brand does really well, and it's growing in those retailers. It just doesn't happen to be growing in Nordstrom's, and Nordstrom's is making a rational decision.
But really fascinating about the power of the president's tweets when he writes, support LL Bean, great company, and then all of a sudden people are talking about boycotting Starbucks because Starbucks plans to hire immigrants, and this is all dealing with Donald Trump, and there are people dropping the boycott word left and right.
It's going to be a period of realignment over the next 60 to 90 days. I think this is unprecedented on many levels. Nobody understands what could be the ramifications. You talk about boycotts and Starbucks. There are Mexican groups that are thinking about boycotting Starbucks in Mexico in retaliation to the phone call the president had with the Mexican head of state.
I spoke with some Mexican workers, and they said they're also talking about boycotting Walmart, Coca-Cola, Home Depot.
Exactly. In fact, Walmart should be very concerned because outside of the United States, Walmart, Mexico is the number 2 market for Walmart stores, and it's a very profitable business for Walmart, and that would be really concerning to Walmart's shareholders if there's a boycott by Mexican consumers.
Professor, we have just a few seconds, but I did want to get your reaction overall. You referred to the Super Bowl and the advertising. What were your overall thoughts of what was offered up this year?
I think it was a pretty pedestrian set of ads, but there were a handful that were kind of memorable, and a few that really took a big risk, like 84 Lumber. The Anheuser-Busch ad was very strong. The Airbnb ad made a very specific comment, but for the most part, this year was probably a little bit more lackluster than the last couple of years.
Co-founder of Bottom Line Marketing and professor of marketing at San Diego State University, Miro Copic. Thank you so much, Professor Copic.
Thank you. Have a great day.